Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share a video just talking about everything I learned my first year of nursing school because there's just so much unknown and I think it's helpful to go in with a little bit of a better idea of what to expect and just to help you kind of not feel completely overwhelmed. So I'm going to talk about like the whole process that I went through, what worked for me, what I experienced, and what you can learn from it. So before I even started school, before I moved into my dorm, I got an email from one of my professors and it was so long and it was telling us about the homework we had to do the first day of class. And I stressed about that homework so much. Like, I moved into my dorm a week before classes started and I worked on that homework all week long. And when class actually started and I got into a routine, that became homework I was doing on almost a nightly basis. It was bi-weekly. We had these two long assignments. But the reality of it wasn't even that long. I was just so stressed about it that I really dragged it out. Dragged? Is that a word? Whatever. I made it take a really long time when I didn't really need to. So I think the first thing I realized was just I can take a deep breath. Yes, as long as you keep up with your schedule and do your work and do what's expected of you, that will set you up for success. That's the first step. So just don't get too caught up. Don't let yourself get too overwhelmed if you can. I know it's hard not to. But everything is going to be okay. Your professors have worked with freshmen before. They know what to expect. And they really are just there to help you. They want you to succeed. So they're not going to set you up for failure. Once classes actually started, I was miserable. Just the first week. And actually, once I got past that first week, I started talking to some of my friends in the program and they were like, oh my gosh, I was the same way. We all thought we were going to drop out. We were like, this is horrible. We're done. We're out. That's normal though. Don't read into that too much because once you get through that first week, you'll get into a routine. You'll find your people. For my school, I go to the University of Cincinnati. We're placed into learning communities, which is a group of about 15 students, and you have the same exact class schedule for first semester and second semester of your freshman year. And that helps so much because you have this small group of people and you learn together, and because your schedules are the same, you end up spending so much time together even outside of class, and it just creates a really good community. So I would just say, going into that situation, you need to realize that everyone's in the same boat. You're not the only one who's scared or stressed out or overwhelmed. Everyone is right there with you. So once you start reaching out to those people and becoming friends, you'll realize we are all in this together. We all are just trying to succeed and move forward in nursing school. So if you work together to just learn and become more successful, you will really be so much happier. It helps so much because if I'm good at one topic, my friend's good at something else, we can work together to teach each other that topic, and when you teach someone a topic, you solidify the information even more. So it really helps just to have that group. Even if you're not in a learning community, you will find your group. Believe me, nursing students stick together. My other big thing that was kind of surprising to me, this might be different for you, but for me in high school, I took hard classes for the most part, but I didn't have to study too much. I usually could just kind of study last second, and that was not the case in college. It takes a lot more studying in order to do well on your test, and I know that sounds scary at first, but the benefit is that you're learning material that really should be more interesting to you than what you maybe learned in high school, because this is the career path you're on now. So it's probably more interesting than learning, for me, math was my hardest subject in high school. And I didn't have to take math this year. I was learning anatomy and things related to my career, and I loved that. So I think the other thing with studying is you also just need to find the style that works best for you. For me, writing things out and labeling figures and drawing everything out is just what works best for me. But for you, maybe note cards or listening to lectures again. Whatever works for you, do that. And it might take some trial and error to figure out what works best, but you'll eventually get there. Everything will be okay. Work with your classmates and you guys can bounce ideas off each other as well. I think another thing is really important that just goes back to realizing everyone's in the same boat. No one's going to be like caught up in the fact of whether or not like you're wearing certain clothes or you're wearing makeup. Like, no one cares. We're all just there to take our classes and do school. So don't get too caught up in like worrying what others think, because for the most part everyone is going to be pretty understanding and you're going through all the same stuff, so they're not going to tear you down for that. I think the absolute biggest tip I have is to just make sure you always leave time to take care of yourself, because time management is hard. It's an adjustment. You don't have, your parents there to remind you to do things or to make dinner for you. So I think the biggest thing you can do is just make sure you leave time to take care of yourself. Even though I know you have a lot of work to do and a lot of studying, for me, I always try to make time to still go to the gym, and I had to really make sure I was eating enough even though I was busy and distracted. And I also made time to hang out with my friends and my roommates. I didn't do a great job of keeping in touch with some of my high school friends, I think because I was just so overwhelmed by what was going on at school. But if you take the time to connect with people, it will honestly really benefit you positively. So definitely try and do that. My roommates and I would just like go and grab dinner in between studying. So I think just like building relationship with people who have that same mindset as you really helps. My friends in my learning community, we would grab food between classes or just stop at Starbucks and we would study together, and just having that group interaction helps me personally so much. The other really cool thing about college is that you have so much more independence. There's not like fear of doing things alone. Like, I feel like in high school, everyone has to do things together. Whereas in college, like, yes, you can do things together, but it's also kind of cool that you can just, like, do things independently, and no one really cares. So, like, sometimes I would just go and grab dinner by myself in the dining hall because I was in a hurry or was on a schedule, and I actually kind of enjoyed that time for myself sometimes. And I also enjoyed sometimes, going to the gym by myself, or my roommate and I would go together. Like, it's just so different from anything else you've ever experienced. So I would just make sure you are focused on how you're feeling, what works best for you, and don't let yourself get too overwhelmed, because I know going in there you don't know what to expect, and I just think you need to realize that everyone is in the same boat. Even the girl or the guy who seems like they've got it all figured out, they're probably kind of freaking out too. It's a scary situation. It's just all new. But if you've made it this far, you decided you're going to nursing school, you 100% have these skills and tools you need to succeed. So just focus on what works best for you, and you will do great. I think the last thing I want to say is that I know a lot of people within the nursing major who throughout the school year thought they were gonna have to switch majors. I even at one point, I called my dad. I was so stressed. I was like, what if I had to switch majors? Like, what am I doing? And the thing is, I don't really want to switch majors, but it can just be hard when you're so stressed out about things all the time. So even though you might be doubting yourself or doubting whether or not you should be doing nursing school, I think just try and remember why you signed up in the first place, and you'll realize that this is what you want to do. And also, don't be afraid if it's not what you want to do. That's okay too. So again, just focus on how you're feeling. Communicate with those around you, because I assure you everyone is feeling the same way. And just try and be open-minded as you go into the experience. If you have any specific questions, please be sure to comment below. I'd love to chat with you. I just finished my first year, so everything is pretty fresh in my mind. I know it's a scary experience just because there's so much unknown, but it's also gonna be one of the best experiences of your life. Like, starting that first year is really cool. It's fun to like reach the end of the year and text with your friends, and well, we were texting because our year got cut short, but you'll be together, hopefully. It's just really fun to grow as a group and as an individual as you reach for your next career goal. So please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll have more videos up on here soon.